What if one person's choices could save so many lives? What would you do if you had to make a tough decision? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're diving into the 7th chapter of Genesis, the incredible story of Noah and the great flood. This is filled with important lessons about making good choices, trusting ourselves, and what happens when we ignore the warnings around us. It's a powerful reminder that our decision can change everything, not just for ourselves, but for those we care about. So I'll read the chapter, then we'll dive into the explanation of the chapter. Let's read together the book of Genesis chapter 7 from the first verse to the last verse. So, verse 1, the Lord then said to Noah, "Go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found you righteous in this generation. Take with you 7 pairs of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate, and 1 pair of every kind of unclean animal, a male and its mate, and also 7 pairs of every kind of bird, male and female, to keep their various kinds alive throughout the earth. 7 days from now, I will send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will wipe from the face of the earth every living creature I have made." And Noah did all that the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the floodwaters came on earth. And Noah and his sons and his wife and his son's wife entered the ark to escape the waters of the flood. Pairs of clean and unclean animals, of birds and of creatures that move along the ground, male and female, came to Noah and entered the ark, as God had commanded Noah. And after the 7 days, the flood waters came on earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 7th day of the 2nd month, on that day, all the spring of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of heaven were opened, and rain fell on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On that day, Noah and his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, together with his wife and the wives of his 3 sons, entered the ark. They had with them every wild animal according to its kind, all livestock according to their kinds, every creature that moves along the ground according to its kind, every bird according to its kind, everything with wings. Pairs of all creatures that have breath of life in them came to Noah and entered the ark. The animals going in were male and female of every living thing, as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord shut him in. For 40 days the flood kept coming on the earth, and as the waters increased there, they lifted the ark high above the earth. The waters rose and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the water. They rose greatly on the earth, and all the high mountains under the entire heavens were covered. The waters rose and covered the mountain to a depth of more than 15 cubits. Every living thing that moved on land perished: birds, livestock, wild animals, all the creatures that swam over the earth, and all mankind. Everything on dry land that had the breath of life in its nostrils died. Every living thing on the face of the earth was wiped out, people and animals, and the creatures that move along the ground, and the birds were wiped from the earth. Only Noah was left, and those with him in the ark. The waters flooded the earth for 150 days. That's the end of the reading of chapter 7. So we'll dive in to the explanation of the chapter. So Genesis chapter 7 is a chapter where We see now God calls Noah into the ark, saying, "Come into the ark, you and your household, for I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation." Imagine being Noah for a moment. He built this giant ark while everyone around him laughed and doubted him. It must be so hard. Have you ever felt like no one believed in you? Maybe you wanted to try out for a team, join a club at school, or pursue a dream, but others said it was silly. Noah shows us that if we stay true to what we believe, it can lead to amazing outcomes. His obedience saved his family from distraction. Think about the times when you listened to your heart, despite what others said. How did it feel when you proved them wrong? Noah's story reminds us that courage and faith can lead to a brighter future. So from verse 6 to 12, then the rain starts pouring. 40 days and nights of non-stop raining. Can you picture the fear outside? As the water rises, people who laughed at Noah must have been filled with panic. This moment is intense and reminds us that ignoring warnings can lead to a serious trouble. Think about it. When you have ignored a warning and faced the consequences. Maybe you didn't study for a test and ended up failing. Or perhaps you stay out too late and missed an important event. The flood was a wake-up call, a serious reminder that we need to pay attention to the signs in our lives. Now let's reflect on this. When God gave us warning through parents, teachers, or even friends, are we listening? The flood wasn't just a punishment. It was a chance for people to turn back to God, but many choose to ignore it. Inside the ark, Noah and his family are safe, but they are alone, cut off from everything outside. This solitude can be both comforting and scary. Have you ever felt alone in your choices? Maybe you have made a tough decision and felt like no one understood. Sometimes being alone helps us think clearly. Are you taking time to be quiet and reflect on what truly matters to you? Noah found safety in the ark, which symbolizes our own safety in faith. Even when the world feels chaotic, we can find peace in knowing we are in the right path. Think about how isolation can help us connect with God. In those quiet moments, we can pray, reflect, and grow. It's during these times we can ask ourselves if you're on the right path. So embrace those quiet moments. They can lead to incredible clarity and understanding. As the flood waters cover the earth, everything outside the ark is destroyed. The part of the story is heavy, but it teaches us significant lessons. Our choices really do matter. The flood shows the consequences of widespread sin and disobedience. When we think about our daily lives, are our actions leading us to growth or distractions? Maybe it's the same as choosing kindness over anger or honesty over lying. Every little decision counts. But let's also remember that the flood represents a chance for a new beginning. Just as God cleansed the earth, we can also find ways to start fresh in our lives. Maybe you have made mistakes in the past, like not studying hard enough or not being kind to someone. But each new day gives you an opportunity to make different choices and move in a better direction. Genesis chapter 7 teaches us about both judgment and hope. God had to bring the flood to cleanse the world, but he also saved Noah and his family to start anew. Every day we face choices just like Noah. I share these stories because they resonate with our daily struggle. I want this content to reach anyone feeling lost or overwhelmed. Remember that you are not alone in your decision. Like Noah, we can find strength in our faith and make choices that lead to a brighter tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me today. As we reflect on Noah's faith and courage, remember that even when things seem tough, there is always hope for a new beginning. Stay tuned for the next chapter where we'll explore more on God's amazing plan on humanity. Thank you so much for watching.